And we'll come to their position in the league at the moment. Are you happy as a manager, a player trying a rabona cross at 2-0 up as opposed to 0-0?
Yeah, as long as the end product is a goal. I think that's the point. It was brilliant. It was meant as well too. And he's a really class player.
Yeah. I mean, this is a fantastic bit of skill right here, isn't it?
It is, and, you know, if you're going to do something like that, you know, you can try it at 2-0, but, like, he still executed it well. I think that the finish was pretty good, even though it looked like Phil's head was in a totally different position where he's meant to head it. But, like, that there is brilliant because he's picked him out. He's picked him out with a rabona. It's brilliant skill. It's fantastic. And like he said, he just done it because with the 2-0 up, you know, he's feeling good. Bang.
It was an important goal as well too, because Manchester City were under a bit of pressure. Sunderland hit the post, but that goes in. They had a couple of scrambles as well too. So it was actually all Sunderland in the initial part of the second half. That's nice. It's exquisite, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a big goal for Phil Foden's got 5 in a week in 3 Premier League games as well. So 3 goals and 3 valuable points for Manchester City. Now, a rabona assist is something of a collector's item. We've been through the archives. We've only come up with 1 in the Premier League era. West Ham United's Dimitri Payet for Mikel Antonio in 2016.
I remember this one. This is a beautiful one because look, beautiful. Look at that. In the space, it's like perfect. It's not like he played it towards him. He puts this one in the space. But again, he's not even looking, look. That's amazing. I suppose that's what people pay to see sometimes, don't they? Don't see much of it.
Yeah, it would have been some fun if the goalkeeper had just come out and collected it, you know? But it's a goal.
It's good to see, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. It's great to see.
Yeah, you see players expressing themselves like that.
So that was Phil Foden's goal. Sunderland beaten, and they finished with 10 men as well. Now, Luke O'Nien's had to wait a long time till Wednesday night for his Premier League debut at Anfield. He'd been on the pitch here, Martin, less than 5 minutes after the intervention of VAR. We've got to the right decision.
Oh, very much so, yeah. I mean, the referee possibly hasn't seen... he obviously hadn't seen that particular angle, and then he's been called over to the monitor, and it was definitely a red card.
You know what, Martin? I think he's just very fortunate. It was the foul on Núñez because he's caught him with the front bit of his foot. If that's the heel bit, and he catches him, I think he breaks his leg there. The way he was so out of control, and the leg was planted. That is a real lucky one. I'm so pleased that Núñez got away with that one.
Yeah. And Luke O'Nien will, of course, miss the Tyne-Wear derby, which is up and coming next weekend. So as you can see behind me, 2 points now. The gap, even in one day, the dynamic at the top between.
It shows you the sort of change that can take place over, as you mentioned, one day, but certainly in the last couple of days. You know, momentum kind of shifts. Now, I don't think it has in that sense. I think that Arsenal are capable of getting over that. You know, they are on such a run. They're a strong side. I still think that they're probably the best side in the league. However, you know, you start to get worried. The gap is closed, and you start to think about the next game. You need the 3 points on the board.
Absolutely. Right, let's continue our roundup now.
You're smiling, and I know why. Let's talk about that cross, the rabona cross in for Phil Foden. And there was an audible gasp around the stadium, which you don't often hear for an assist. But did you hear all of that reaction? What did you make of it?
Yeah, I know. Just for the fun, because I want to give the pleasure for all the guys, and it's my works. I want to play for Phil, for Omar, for Erling, and it's just my works.
And you saw Phil Foden's reaction as he ran over to you as well. You like the tricks, you like trying things. Are you given permission to do that as much as possible?
Yeah, of course. It's my quality. I won't try, when I have the ball, I won't try all the time, and today is goal because it's a very good pass for Phil, and I'm proud.
And just finally, getting together in a huddle at the end, what were you all saying? Because you'll know for the title race what a big week this has been for Manchester City.
Yeah, we know that. And we take the game one after one, and we want works all the day for win all the game, and we are ready for that.
It's in the back of the net.
Philosophical. Wolves are at home next in the Premier League after the Champions League trip to Bruges in the week. You have to remember, this is Arsenal's first defeat in 97 days here.
Yeah, you know, and what was interesting well is not losing for 18 games, and it's still, the margins are really short, really small. But, like, again, you're listening to a manager who knows exactly where he is, what the team's capable of, what they should be doing, what can happen if you don't do certain things right. And he was right. They were individually, they've done some good stuff to continue to create against us. And that's what's going to happen for the rest of the season. That's why to win these games, to get the cushion, is because you're going to come up against teams that are going to be tough to beat like that. And you go away, you might get a point, but then you might lose, and then the cushion helps you to build your confidence so you can get those points back next week. But what you don't want to get into, Steve, is losing those games and then losing another one, not winning at home, and then all of a sudden people catch you up, go past you, and then you'll feel the pressure of not being able to finish this off. But he sounds really good. He sounds very, very, focused.
This is the psychological side as well.
And so he should be, really, because they've been on a fantastic run. They've conceded in the last minute of the game here, and that'll hurt, definitely, on the way down back to London again, and over the weekend it'll hurt. And it doesn't really matter. I don't think for 1 minute he'll be thinking of what might have been. Oh, well, listen, if we could have won today, we'd have gone 8 points clear, at least for 10 minutes or whatever the case may be. So no, I don't think any of those thoughts are going through his head. It's just been beaten today, but you start again. But they've built up in that unbeaten run. They built up a great spirit. They built up a strength, a will not to get beaten in matches. And that will stand them in great stead over the course of the season. The truth is this year, I think that we all think here at this minute, any team who finished this particular season in front of Arsenal probably going to win the league.
OK. Reaction on the way, but we're still trying to digest it here, really. I mean, it was incredible drama from Villa there.
Wasn't it just, I was just trying to think about what the two managers were going through at that stage. I believe that if the minute that Arsenal got off the bus, if you had said to Arteta, I'll take this draw here today, they'd taken it all day long and just got back down to London again. And for Emery then thinking a couple of chances, one that's gone across the box about 15 minutes earlier, and thinking, well, that's it now. Then there's a scramble in the penalty box, and you're looking around and you're thinking, you wonder who's going to get the touch to it, and your man gets it and Buendia puts it in the net. It's extraordinary, and an extraordinary feeling that they will have going into the dressing room now.
I think as well, Martin, you have to look at the substitutions he made. Marlon coming on offensive, Buendia coming on offensive. So I think that maybe should have been the signal to Arsenal, is like, right, let's shut up shop now, because they're
what you're saying is here, the game management wasn't quite right for Arsenal.
No, not when we got into 80. I think once you get into 85 minutes, you start getting past that. Martin will know more. Obviously, being a manager, knows what he wants to take in that moment. I think that Arsenal go in there. Let's face it, Villa, with the chances they had, they could have won the game with the chances they had. I think you then say, right, let's take what we've got now and get back to London, Mark.
I have the utmost regard for you, Red, but here's my point. I think some players have to take responsibility. You mentioned Madueke should have run it into the corner.
Yeah.
These are the type of things. The manager would be encouraging him to do exactly that.
Yeah.
So, you're talking about the man management or the game management time, then sometimes it's not down just to the manager. He would have been shouting those, although Madueke wouldn't have been able to have heard him, but he would have been shouting, take it to the corner.
So your point is players on the pitch at that point should take responsibility.
I think you know this. These are not young players anymore. You should know this. You know the last 5 minutes of a match is going to be very tight. You'll know what the manager's thinking. He will have taken the draw. Now, it's great to be offensive, and it's great to be thinking that you can score in the last minute. And if you did get it, let's say Madueke had broken through and then suddenly something opened up for him, he scored a goal. There'd be nobody back in the dressing room saying, oh, we were going for that. I remember one particular incident at Nottingham Forest in a European Cup game when a lad called Colin Barrett made this big run against Liverpool. We're 1-0 up, and the management team are desperate for him to stay put. He keeps running, and they're shouting at him to get back. He scores the goal, and they say, oh, fantastic. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that the game can change, but absolutely, definitely, that Arsenal would have taken the draw there with 5 minutes to go.
Yes.
Is it too simple to say, if you've won the league and been there before, that you do that, you feel it, you smell it?
But you could say that now when you lose a game like that at that stage of the game. You could say, it's because they haven't done that. But I have to agree with Martin. Naturally, as a forward, if we're getting into that stage of the game when they're putting pressure on, they've just put two forwards on, two offensive, then you naturally know, Steve, that I'm going to start running into corner flags now. you know, because like a point at Villa at this stage is good. And I think a lot more people will lose points at Villa Park.
Of course.
But it would have been a good one to take.
Away from home, you're against the side who are right up alongside you. And this is a very, very important stage of the season. Now, every game, I suppose, is. But now coming into Christmas, and the last thing you want to do is just surrender that great record that you've had in the circumstance that you've had. Had Villa scored 15 minutes earlier and you then are desperate to try and get an equaliser yourself, you'd fine, absolutely, change all sorts of plans. But when you're holding on to something then at the end of the day, and you've had a little bit of luck about 10 minutes earlier, take that luck and just run it into the corner.
Could Arsenal have done anything more with the goal? I mean, they put 2 or 3 tremendous blocks in the build-up, didn't they?
Well, this is what I'm saying. I thought it was brilliant defending. I was hoping that someone would clear it, but the way it was going, you know, the way Buendia, you could just see where Buendia is. He just stays in and around it, you know. He has a shot there, you know what I mean? He passes it there, but then he gets up and he's just staying involved, waiting for something scratched. But then that's the composure.
Yeah.
He's waiting for something, and the composure is to not just slash it. He's placed it in past the goalkeeper. Great save from the goalie, great block from Timber there, great block from them again there. But then you can see he's just waiting. He's just waiting, Buendia, on the edge of things, like what's it called, flankers, you know, to get the ball and throw it out again. He's just, and that's a good finish. Yeah. And I'll give Villa that. You know what I mean? Because they kept going. They've done well.
Yeah, I don't think that Arsenal could have done much more in that penalty box. They've got bodies behind it. They've tried to block it off, and the ball's just flukily come out again. That's the point. But overall, it's the minutes leading up to that that were the concern for them.
And Villa's character to keep going.
Of course, yeah. Well, that's the manager. We've praised him all day long. And so he might as well take the credit for it.
He's got to get credit for that, Steve, because he's brought 2 forwards on at the depth there. You know what I mean? Now Villa, 3 points behind. They'll feel confident. They started the season pretty poorly after, you know, everything that happened to them last season, missing out on Champions League, not being able to sign players and starting the season so badly. Now they've got themselves in a position where they're 3 points behind the leaders, who everybody's talking about as, you know what I mean, who's going to catch Arsenal? Now they're 3 points behind them, so they will be full of confidence in that. And then this is a good test for us again, because we've got to, at some stage, take the baton of we're going to try and finish this off. You're going to get games like that, and you have to try and finish them off, Steve. You have to take something from it. You can't lose games.
So Villa are 3 points behind in December. So, I mean, the question is, I guess, in this crazy old season, are they in the title race?
Of course
they are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They can win the title.
They can win the title. A number of teams can win the title. Will they win it? It might be a totally different thing. And it will depend, really, on their major players staying fit. I think that's the big thing. Now, also, like Arsenal, like Manchester City, I suppose they're in European football. That does take it out of you, depending on what sort of mentality you have, what sort of feeling you have towards the Europa League, for instance, that Aston Villa could win. They are capable of winning it. There's no question about it, because I feel, particularly in the Europa League, that the English teams are pretty strong. You know, but what, you know, now that you've put yourself into a position of trying to win the league, I think if you were asking the little manager, I think he would think, well, I think if you give me the Premier League title, I can think about Europe in another 5 years, you know?
And Martin Keown has joined us as well. Disappointing for you, Martin, but where did that rank as part of games that you've seen this season?
Well, look, it's difficult for me as I've got a foot in both camps, but I'm an Arsenal man, so you wanted to see that. But if it was the spoils were shared, then that'd have been a nice day out. But credit to Buendia coming off the bench. He's played a lot recently. He'd have been really disappointed, and he found the finish. And as Arsenal were queuing up to clear it, there were Villa players queuing up to put it in the back of the net, and it was kind of like an amazing finish to this game, and not an easy one when you've got so much of you in the game. I'll be honest, I'm just talking professionally to Ali about when he does Rangers, when I do Arsenal. You know, you love the club, and obviously Villa as well, so you're happy for the Villa fans in the end, but that's a sickening way for Arsenal to lose this epic game, and this is what the Premier League gives us now.
They just didn't give up though, Villa,
No, he stuck with it, Buendia. You see, like, even when he goes on, he keeps it alive, which first and foremost, but then he gets up quickly, gets to his feet quickly, then composes himself, and in a pressure moment just comes up with the goods. Brilliant finish.
He's been absolutely vital for them as well this season, Ali. It's been quite a resurgence from him.
Oh, brilliant. If I could just comment on the finish as well, lads, and I didn't recognise it until I saw it there. He lifts it because there's two defenders coming